Hi guys, welcome. Welcome to the Saturday live show. I'm gonna give it a few minutes for people to join. I'm gonna give it 5 minutes. 5 minutes for people to join. It's been a while. It's been a minute. I'm gonna give it a few minutes for people to join me in this live show. 12 p.m. I'm gonna give it a few minutes. Let's see who is gonna come on the live show. I'm here. Today is Saturday. And we have a live show. It's been a while, guys. It's been a whole week. After winning the DV lottery, after being selected, and even for those people who are not selected, it's been a week. 1 minute, 31 seconds. Let me see if my video is public first, because I am not sure if it is. Just bear with me for 1 second. I'm still here. I'm just looking to see if it's public. Yes, it is. 3 people. Yeah, I had to go and check if my video was was live. Sometimes I self doubt myself, but it is. Guys, 4 people. Type your name there and tell me where you are. I'm gonna acknowledge you here in a little bit. Gonna give it 5 minutes. We are 2 minutes 25 seconds to the show. 7 people. Type your name there, guys, and please like my video. Give it a thumbs up. Ask a question. Make a comment. Make a comment. This is our normal live session where we talk about what you want me to talk about. You type a question there, we talk about it. 3 minutes to the show. I have 2 more minutes, and then I'm going to acknowledge some people. If you have a question, type it there. You can type there and say hi, tell me what time it is, wherever you are. Tell me your name, and I'm going to acknowledge you here in a little bit. Yeah, I see people have started typing. Yeah, type your name there. I'm going to acknowledge you here in a little bit. I hope you guys have been doing fine. I hope you have been doing fine. Please type your name there. Yeah, I see people have started typing. Been a while. Thank you for that time. I'm going to acknowledge you here in a little bit. 3 minutes for the 47 seconds to the live show. We're going to talk about some issues here. We're also going to talk about the DV 2023. And what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to put a link here. Hold on just a minute. I'm going to put a link here for you guys. If you want to talk to me live, you click on that link and I'm going to bring you on. Even if it's to say live, just to say hi, guys. There's a link that I put there. If you click on that, you will be able to talk to me. So it's been a whole week since people won the DV lottery. And I haven't done a live show actually since that time. But today is the time. I want to like hear how you're feeling. What are your plans? I want to hear that. 5 minutes. This is Charity's Bubble USA. My name is Charity Nganga. Welcome to our Saturday live show. So I'm going to acknowledge some people here in a little bit. And like I said, I have a link here. If you want to click on that link and you want to come and say hi live, you can. So Alice Wahome, hi. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Valentin Kagendo, thank you for joining me. Hi, Charity. Jerry Lucia, hi, Charity tuned in from Kiambu. Thank you for joining me. Rampaya Tionest, my friend here. Hello, Charity. Well done. I am watching from Uganda. Jerry Lucia, 8:03 p.m. 8:03 p.m. Yeah. Thank you for that. And Alice Wahoma is saying that she is eating ugali at Ethiopia. Thank you, guys, for joining me in this live session. Now, I want to talk about some questions. And if you have a question, you can type it there. If you type it there, I am going to acknowledge it. We're going to talk about it. But first of all, I'm going to talk about some of the ones that people have reached out to me and see what they're asking. Now, there's this person who reached out to me in 8 people there in my messenger. I normally tell you guys, if you type a message for me, type it on Facebook Messenger, because I will see it very fast as opposed to my email, because my email has got so many emails, so sometimes it takes a while before I see a message. So but if you type it there on my Facebook, I will see it. Okay. Hi, Charity. Thanks for always keeping us informed. I have a question. I was once caught by police because of crossing the road where it is not allowed. Just taken to court. Would that require court records in case of a visa interview? Now, if you watched my previous video, there's a video that I did, I think it's the fourth last on my latest videos. That is the fourth last on my latest videos. I talked about the things that will make them not deny you a visa. So when you go for your police clearance record and you get a clean slate, you find that you don't have to dwell on all that stuff. But the thing that would make you to be denied that, and I talked about that, is if you have been trafficking, if you have been on drugs, if you have been taking saying bad things about the US, of course they will follow up on all that and they will not give you a visa. So it's very, very important for you to know. And that's why I normally post a video so that you can know. Because the first thing that you require, that is if you won your DV lottery, is you will require to get those police clearance records. What they want to know is your background. It's called a background check. So that background check, you don't have to worry about whether you crossed the road, whatever, or you did what. Because when you go there, if it was, that is not like a major crime, because they are the ones that they look at. So you should not be worried about that. Karanja Maura, hi Charity, Karanja from Edolet. Thank you for joining me. Now, there's another one who is saying, and I think I've talked about this question so many times. He's a guy and he's saying that he was married and then the wife went and got married to other people. So what should he write? You find that, and this is a person who hasn't won the DV lottery. So when you go to fill out your DV lottery, just write single, because if someone moved on with other people, there is no way that you can claim that person. You know what I mean? And it's a self-explanatory question, because you do not dwell on what has happened. You don't, unless you had a marriage certificate, and when you had a marriage certificate, then you must have gone through a divorce. So if you had gone through a divorce, then you will enter that you are divorced, and then from there, then you can take the documentation. So if someone is not in your life anymore, then there is no point of including them, especially with our customary marriage, because most people are married by customary marriage. Now, there's another one. There's another one that someone is asking if there's a second selection. Now, normally what happens after the people who had checked the DV lottery, you find that the people who check are normally more than the people who will get the visas. But if let's assume like the people who are selected, they have exhausted all those numbers. Hmm? Like everybody has been considered, some have been disqualified, some have not processed, because it's not everybody who won the DV lottery who is gonna process it because of so many things. Maybe it's finance, or maybe they just don't want to move. You find that if that number becomes less, that those 55,000 visas, they can reach out to some people. So that's why they normally tell you, even if you are not selected, keep your confirmation number up to September 30th, 2024. If you do that, it's a chance. It's not that it happens all the time. It can happen. It can happen, but that is if there were more visas that were remaining, and some people did not process, others did not qualify because of so many things. Then that is how maybe they can contact you. So it's good to keep your confirmation number even if you are not selected. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to apply for the DV 2024. It's very, very important that you apply for the DV 2024, even if you are selected. It's good because nobody is going to ask you, why did you apply for this one, and you have already been selected. No, because maybe you can have by financial issues. It's very normal for people to have financial issues. It's also very normal for other people. They don't want to immigrate. Like I was having a conversation with this lady, and she was very upset because she was saying that she was she was selected and the spouse doesn't want to come in, and they have kids, but that one is all about dialogue. And like I said, is that if you're a parent, it's good to look at the future of your children. Even if you don't want to come here and settle in the US, you can bring them, and then just for them to have a better future. Mm? But if you are okay, there are some people who are fine, they have money, and they are doing very well, and they feel like they don't wanna come in. Nobody is gonna force you to come and live here if you do not want to. And that is where maybe if that number becomes higher, that is when maybe they can contact those people who are not selected, and ask them if and whatever, and confirm their cases. You see what I mean? So it's good. Make sure that you keep your confirmation number. I'm not saying that they are going to open it, but there's always that chance. Now, there's another one. um no So let's talk about the host. Now, so many people have reached out for me to host them, but you find that you can only host one person. And this is the reason as to why. Because when you're hosting a person, you have to give them your W2, and you have to give them an affidavit I-34. Now, you find that when it takes a lot of convincing, because people are worried, and most people do not like sharing their information. So like I said, and most people who have reached out to me, is that it's still good even for you to try. You don't necessarily have to know like someone direct here. You can know the relatives, you can have a friend who has a friend, and try to talk to them, because sometimes it all comes to trust. Another thing that I want to say is that when you win your DV lottery, it is not that if you don't have all that, then you will not be allowed to come. But normally, why you need all that stuff is to show that there is someone who can support you before you get on your feet. But let's assume that you have enough money. You can be able to connect with someone to rent you a house, and you have money that will sustain you for you up to have a job, and you only need an address. You can use that and then go and show them proof, because they want to make sure that you're not a public charge. But you find that they ask the host for those documents, because when you come here, it takes time before you are on your feet. But if you know that when you come here, you are going to be on your feet, you have enough money that you're going to be able to rent a house and all that, then you can forego without all those documents. But for the majority of people, they need a host and they need those documents. So for me, what I'm telling people is that I am trying on this side to find people who can agree, because I can only host one person, because they look at the household, they look at your form, they see how many people can you host. You see what I mean? So we're still gonna go and look at that and see, but that doesn't mean that I am not going to help people. I will. Okay, now let's talk. There's a question here. Hi, Charity. Can I be enrolled to BSN directly? I have never done anything medical, meaning I will have to do prerequisites. How long do the prerequisites take? Now, it depends on a school. It depends on the college that you enroll in for you to be able to take your prerequisites. But like I said, it depends on, it's on your pace. You can do the prerequisites in maybe 2 years or 1.5 years, or maybe you can do them with a shorter time. There are some people who take like so many credit hours, 16 credit hours, and they finish faster. But what I can say is that it depends on a school, and it also depends on when you go with your grades and they look at them where they place you. Hmm? Because let's assume you have gone, you of course you will do an entry test for them, like to test you where you are, and that is where when they decide where to place you. So sometimes you find that you might start at a lower level, especially in math. Hmm? Especially in math. So depending on where you started, it will determine how many classes that you are going to do. But normally what happens is that when you're going to do a BSN or whatever, yes, you can enroll directly, but you will go through the prerequisites, all of them, and then you don't go direct to nursing school after you have done your prerequisites. No, you don't. Normally what happens is that you will have to do a test, a nursing entrance test. Like, that test, it depends on a school, and they have a certain percentage that you have to reach. So when you pass that test is when you will be accepted in nurse school. And it also depends, yes, you have passed that test, the entrance test. It also depends with your GPA, because let's assume, like, the people who have applied for nursing are so many, because so many people, it's very competitive, very, 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 very competitive to apply for nursing. And let's assume, like, people have a higher GPA. Now let me give you my example, because I like to give an example of my own. So you find that when I applied but mine I did breakdown, because I did LPN first, and now I'm doing the associates. Now, what you do is that when you do apply, they look at the GPA. The GPA is the performance, because here they normally do not look at maybe the marks that you have or whatever. Depending on, maybe let's assume you are an A student. If you are an A student, maybe you have a GPA of 4.0 or 3.9 or 3.8. Those are high GPA. So let's assume like there's another person who has a GPA of 3.4 or 3.5. You find that if there are so many people who have a higher GPA than you, they will be selected. And it is not because you have failed, it is because there is a certain number of students who have to be in school. You see what I mean? So for me, before I went to school, because I went to school I just finished my first semester. I had applied last semester. But when I applied last semester, they sent me a letter. They told me that you have qualified to enter nursing school, but the people who applied with a higher GPA were more than you. I'm not going to tell you what my GPA was. It was good. It was really good. But there were some people who had 4. There was other people who had 3.8 and 3.9. So you find that there's a cutoff, and the cutoff depends on the number of people who had applied and how people had and the higher their GPA. So you find that when you're doing when you're trying to apply, or when you're doing your prerequisites, you must make sure that your standards are very high. They have to be very high. Otherwise, if they are not very high, you find that you will be applying and you are not being selected. Why? It is not because you did not pass the entrance test. It is because of your GPA, because it's very, very competitive. Hmm? It's very, very competitive. So what I normally say is that when you come in, let's assume you're doing biology, because if you're doing anatomy and physiology, you have to do biology with review before you do that, is a prerequisite for anatomy and physiology. You have to make sure that you are on the A's. So that means that you have to study very hard for you to be on the A's. If you're failing, maybe you have a B plus, so that your GPA can be high, because you find that you can do very well in some subjects. Maybe you have A's on these subjects, and then you fail one class. Maybe you fail math, you fail college algebra. College algebra is a little bit hard. So if, let's assume you got A's on all the other prerequisites, but you failed math, maybe you got a C in math or you got a D in math, you find that it lowers your GPA. You see what I mean? So what I can tell you, Charlotte, is that when you are doing your prerequisites, your main focus should be staying on top of those A's, so that when you're going to do the application, you will be among the people who have the highest GPA and you will be picked. So for me, what happened is that after I wasn't picked on that semester, so the next semester I reapplied again. No, I told them to put me on the waiting list. And still, since my GPA was still very high, but there were some people who had a higher one like than me, then I was selected to go to school. You see what I mean? So it all depends. And then, like I said, the prerequisites, it depends on a school, and it depends on your transcript, what you have done, and you know what they think. And then another thing that I like to talk about is English. You see, the American English and our English in Africa is a little bit different, especially if you are colonized by the British. Especially maybe you are colonized by the French. Your English is a little bit different. So you find that when you come here, there are so many things that you have to learn, because you might say that I'm good in English, because you will do English classes. You will do composition 1 and com 2. So you find that when you're doing those classes, when you're reading those books, sometimes they tend to be a little bit harder, because you have to read books and review them and write whatever and write about them. So you find that sometimes you can fail English, and then you're like, why am I failing English? It's because the words that are used here, some of them are different. They're very, very different. So you find that you can go, like I remember when I went to do my test, my first test, my first test to go to the LPN class, I never passed English. I passed math, I passed science, but I didn't pass English. Why? Because there were some words that I wasn't understanding. They're English words, and I started Googling and reading so many books. But then I was like, this means this. It's a word that I know, but I don't know it the way they say the American way. You see what I mean? So it's very, very good, even like to put so much effort in grammar, English and grammar, because it's two things. Because you will do that, you'll do comprehension, whereby you have to read a passage and answer questions, and those are hard because they ask you the meaning of some words, and then you will go to do grammar, punctuation. Whereby I remember when we came in, like I didn't know what was a period, because we were used to back there we were saying full stop. But then I was like, what's a period? So because a period means something different out there. Where I went to school in Kenya, a period is different. But here, a period is a full stop. So you find that such words, they will kind of confuse you, and it takes time for you to know them. So it's very, very important for you to do a lot of research, read so many books, so that you can know the meaning of those words, so that you can excel. So so that's that. Okay, Anthony Kangeda is tuned in from Gachie. Thank you for joining me. Okay, Karanja Mwara is saying, hi Charity, there can be a second selection for DV lottery. Instruction number 1 after checking result is keep confirmation number until the end of the fiscal year. Yeah, and that's what I have said, and thank you for saying that, because I've said keep it. It is not 100% that there will be a selection. It is only if, after they have processed, they have visas that were not claimed by people, because there were no more people, then they will call you. But it's not all the time. It doesn't happen all the time. You have to know that it doesn't happen all the time. But like I said, keep it. Okay? Right. Yes, you can enroll in direct BSN school in a 4-year school, yes, but it's cost effective to knock off the nursing prerequisites and elective courses in a community college. Very good point there. Knock them off in a community college, because community colleges are more cheaper. And this is something that I have done, because I went to I did some of my prerequisites on a community college, and then I decided when I was going to now to go to this class that I'm doing, the RN class, I was like, let me go to a university and take some classes. But then when I looked at the cost, it was so high that I only did 2 classes there, and I went to finish back in the community college. Why? Because it's cheaper. It's cheaper. So when you come here and you look at the schools, it's better for you to do them in a community college and maybe go to whatever. And at the same time, there are still some community colleges which offer the BSN program. Like the school that I am going to right now, they offer a BSN program and it's a community college. So you can go to a community college. You can go to a community college and get your BSN. You will get it. But you have do your research. And of course, another thing that you need to do when you're going to look for a nursing school, it is always good to look for a school that is, that is accredited. You have to research. Because I remember when I like to talk about my experiences here in the US so that you guys can understand. So when I came in, like I didn't understand like how important the prerequisites were. So I was like, why am I doing all these classes? Why can't I just go direct to do my nursing? But I didn't understand that I had to do these classes so that they could prepare me to like something like anatomy and physiology. You have to know like the body before you go and do a nursing, because they won't teach you that. They will teach you application, but they're not going to teach you like all the body parts and everything. So what I did is that I went to apply to a private school. So I applied, and they processed and everything. But then I remember, and I'm always thankful to that guy. So I met this guy. He was a Kenyan, and then we just had a conversation. Here in the US, when Kenyans meet each other, you talk and you just click because that's someone from home. And like I tell you, here we don't have so much social life. So he was like, why did you choose to come to a community college? And I hadn't stayed much in the US, so I didn't know much. So I was like, I'm coming in because this one, they're not asking for those prerequisites and all that stuff. But then he was like, no, because if you come here, you will have so much burdens because you will still do the prerequisites. That's what they're not telling you that you will whatever, that you'll do the prerequisites. You still do them, and at the same time there is no way that you'll be doing classes, but you're thinking that you are doing the nursing, but you're still doing those classes. See what I mean? So I remember I looked at the fees it was a private school. It was so high, but then I decided to go and look at the reviews, because you have to look at the reviews online about a school. And then when I went to look at the reviews, that school had very, very bad reviews, like horrible reviews. And actually it was closed. So you have to look at all that, because you'll be like, why am I doing all these prerequisites? Because that's what I was asking myself, because I'm kind of very impatient. Like I like my things to roll. And so for you have to understand all those dynamics before you are going to a school, because there will be those private school and all that. I'm not saying that not all of them are bad. There are some which are very good, but you still have to look at the reviews of a school and see how they do, how their students pass, because all that is on the review. When you Google, you will see all that. So it's very, very, very important. So go to a community college, and there are some community colleges actually which offer the bachelor's program for nursing. Okay. If you have your first degree, you can also apply to accelerated BSN program. You can also contact the school if you want to attend admissions office, and they will give you other requirements. So those are just the processes, and this one is doing very good, because he or she is trying just to tell all that. Now, normally when you go to any college here, any college, you are given an advisor. So that advisor will walk you through, and they will tell you like about their school. They will tell you about their classes and everything. So you can book an appointment, or maybe you can talk with them online. It depends on whatever that you want. But at the same time, you get all the information. You do get all the information. So when you are here on the ground, you will not you are not going to be lost. You just look at the schools, and then when you look at the schools, go in and inquire. What I know about living here in the US is that the best thing is for you to take yourself to where you want to go and inquire there. or maybe look up the information online. When you look up the information online, read it, and then take yourself there or make a call and go by yourself. You have to do that. And because you find that when we are coming from home, and I've noted this like with many people, is that we tend to be naive and we tend to be kind of shy because you find that out there back in Africa, some of the things we are not, we rely on like people to do for us. You know what I mean? It's like maybe going to Saudi Arabia. I'm going to give that example because that's a good example. So let's assume you're going to Saudi Arabia. You find, you know that you can by yourself apply for a job directly in Saudi Arabia and just process all that. But we tend to have middlemen. You find that when you come here in the US, it's a little bit different. There are no middlemen. You have to do everything for yourself. Everything for yourself. And that is why you find that even in my show, when I'm doing something, when maybe we are doing the application for the DV lottery, or maybe we are filling out the DS-260, I normally tell people, do it for yourself. I'll come here, I'll do a video, I'll explain how to do it, but I want you to do it for yourself. Because when you come here in the US, you have to do everything for yourself. Most people, when you ask them, they will tell you that they don't know. Even our fellow Africans, they will tell you that they don't know. Because that's how here it is. You have to do everything for yourself. So it's very, very important when you come here to the US, you do your own research. For me, I always like to do my own research. I don't like asking. I like to do my own research, and then I go there, I get the information. Where this from the source. I like to go to the source and get the information. So so that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Okay, so let's see what Meralyn Kada. Hi Charity, I'm watching from Kenya, Nairobi. I want a green card. When is the deadline to submit the DS-260? Now, the deadline what I can say about the DS-260 is that submit it as soon as you can, as soon as possible. Submit it as soon as possible. I know that people are having problems and they are trying to fill it out, and they are not getting the information. Sometimes that it's not working. You'll find that most people are filling out the DV lottery. They're filling out the DS-260 because they want to do it early. So you find that that website is kind of jammed because everybody wants to do it. It doesn't matter where they are; they want to do it. I'm gonna bring you in here in a little bit, Zipporah. So because they want to do it, it's jammed. So what you need to do is that maybe you can do it maybe very early in the morning or very late in the evening, or you can wait just a little bit, maybe 1 or 2 more weeks, and then you do it. But the best time to do it is as soon as possible. It's very, very important for you to do it as soon as possible. So I'm going to bring in Zipporah here to the show. So just here in a little bit, Zipporah, and we are going to talk to her. Hello, Zipporah.
Hi,
How are you
Charity.
doing? I'm
I'm
fine.
well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for joining me in this live show.
Thank you too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a follower.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you've been very informative.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm glad
Yeah.
that I am informative. Yeah, I'm glad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Have you been?
So I
Go
was
ahead.
not selected.
Mm-hmm.
It was my first time
Mm-hmm.
actually taking action about DS-260.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never quite heard about it, but somehow this year when I purposed to look for information about it, I found it.
Oh, the DV
And
lottery. Okay.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
I'd actually never thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
It just always seemed to be something very far away, not
Okay.
reachable, not attainable. So I
Right.
guess, information is power. Once you go online and you find legit people talking
Yeah.
about them, plus when I saw you and through someone else's channel,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, it kind of gives faith and hope that
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
it's
it does.
attainable and it's doable, and I got to do it. And
Mm-hmm.
I can say my heart didn't break. For me,
Mm-hmm.
I just interpreted as there is something that God intends me to do here that I have
Oh,
not yet done.
yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's the
So
spirit.
yes, so I'm faithfully doing what I needed to do. Again, I've
Mm-hmm.
not put my life on hold. I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing the things that I
That you
that I
need
need to
to
do
do.
to advance myself.
Yeah, yeah, it's very,
Yeah,
very important because there's some people who are not selected on the first time. There's some people who are selected on the first time. Like me, I was selected on the first time. It's,
yeah,
but do not like say that I'm not going to fill out the DV lottery because I wasn't selected. No, You
True.
still continue filling it out, but just know that it's a lottery. And at the same time, there are other ways that, apart from even the DV lottery, there are other ways that I'm going to talk about that you can still use and come to the US. You can be invited by someone for a graduation, for a wedding, you know. And actually,
Uh,
those ones are easier because, especially when you invite someone, they don't need so much. They don't need all those tests and whatever. They just need to pay for the interview. And the only
uh-huh.
thing that you need to do is just go and prove to the consular that you will go back home indeed after you're done with what you're doing. You see what I mean?
So there is no need to prove like relationship,
Yes,
who
you
is
have to prove
inviting you and
relationship.
why.
No, what you need to prove to them is that you will go back home
Yeah.
after you have come in for the graduation. You will go back home. You're not going to just disappear. You see what I mean?
Okay.
So
Yes.
there are those ones. There's some people who like wanna just apply for to come to school. You know, there's seminars. You know, there's so many ways that people try. So, and I'm going to talk about all those ones in my
Great.
shows, and I hope that I just hope that I will benefit someone. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So thank you so
Okay.
much for joining me. Yeah,
Thank you too.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Where did you say that you are calling me from?
I stay in Nairobi,
Oh,
Kasarani.
Nairobi, Kenya. Which part of
Yeah.
Nairobi do you stay in?
Kasarani.
Kasarani. Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
used to live in Kayole Estate.
Ah, okay, okay, not too far, just
Not
off
very far from there.
Outer
Yeah,
Ring.
I did.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
sawa, sawa.
All
Okay,
right.
great.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. You keep doing your family videos. The talks you do with Christine are really nice. My daughter
Oh,
is
yeah.
around the same age. Um,
Yeah.
um, so what I do is like that one you did with Christine, I forwarded it to her. We
Oh,
watched it together.
yes.
She liked the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Also to just see that the challenges we have here are the same ones that could be out
Oh,
there
yeah.
for young
You
girls
know,
growing up.
it's very real. And what I can tell you is that it doesn't matter which part of the world that you are in. Like
Yeah.
bringing up our children is like it's like the same thing. People are all the same. You know, people
Mm-hmm.
say, you know, like how I used to think is that when you go to the US, like there are no challenges of bringing up
Yeah.
kids.
Mm.
There are so many challenges, and unless you keep on having those conversations all the time, you're having those conversations.
Yeah.
Because what
Yeah.
I say is that I will do my part as a parent, even if something happens. I'm not gonna blame myself
Yeah.
because I
You
did
need to
my
give
best.
your
You see what I
best.
mean? Yeah. So we're gonna do more of those ones.
Okay, that would be great.
Yeah. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Thank you too.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, but stay tuned. We still have another 23 minutes.
Yes, I am on. Today I've not missed time. I
Okay.
think the
Thank
first
you
few
very
times
much.
I confused time. But
Yeah.
now I'm good.
Our time kind of changes because
Yeah.
sometimes we go behind and the other ones we go because the before we came to spring, the
Mm-hmm.
show was coming in I think at 7, at
Yeah.
9, I
At
think, but right now
9,
it's
yeah.
8. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember missing several. Then I'd be like, "Oh, you're done." Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
at least I am caught up now. So thank you. Be blessed so much,
Okay,
you
God
and
bless
your
you too.
family. Will
Okay.
keep following.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.
Okay. So thank you. I just talked there to Zipporah. So like I said, if you want to talk to me live, my you can click on that link over there, and then we can have a conversation. Now, let me see if there's something else. So Martin is saying, congratulations to all the DV 2023 winners. So like I was talking about the DS260, you can fill it out anytime. It doesn't matter. But make sure that you do it as fast as you can. If you find that the internet is not working well or whatever, keep on trying because most people are doing the application. Now, let me see if I have another question over here. Let me see if I have another question over here. And if you have a question there, you can type it there and then we'll talk about it. We are going to talk about it. So there's this person who was asking for me to give tips for the interview, for the DV lottery interview. Now, there is no tips for that interview because when you fill out your DS260, that one is telling them a little bit more about you. Hmm? You're trying to explain to them, this is who I am, and this and this and this and this and this and this is what I have done with my life. That's what you're doing. This is my family, this is my kids, all that. That is what you're telling them. So you find that from that DS 260 that you filled out, that is where they will get a question. Actually, it's like making your own test when you do the DS 260. So they are not gonna go witch hunting out there unless you decide to volunteer some information, of which most of us Africans, we have that weakness of volunteering information. So what you will do is that you will do go with your transcripts. Of course, if you have that Form 4 certificate, you have to have it. You have to have a certification, a kind of something to show that it's from the neck. Now, and before I talk about that, these people who are saying, I went to the university, I did all that. Now, if you went to the university, of course, you went to high school. The minimum requirement for the DV lottery is high school. So if you have gone to high school from 4, you have your certificate, you're good to go. Now, about that interview. So when you submitted your DS 260, they have it when they are calling you for the interview. So that is where they will get a question from. And normally it's not many questions, because you give the documents that you will go with, and then you will go and get fingerprinted. Everybody who is from 16 and above, they get fingerprinted. The little ones do not get fingerprinted, and neither are they interviewed. They're not interviewed. So when you go to the consular, it doesn't take long, guys. That minute, that ours took like less than 2 minutes. We were done. But it all depends on how much honest you are. And honesty starts from that paper that you did the application. It has to flow. And that's why it's important that you fill out the DS 260 by yourself. Because if someone else does it for you, you don't know what they're going to write there. Maybe you just give the information, you give your passports and all that, and then you give it maybe to the cyber guy, and you leave it with them that they're going to do it for you. No, that is your life. You have your case number. That is private information that you have to keep for yourself. So do it for yourself. If you're having a difficulty and you contact me, I will walk you through how to do it, because I've done it, and I've looked at that document. Actually, in my next video is going to be about it. So it's very, very important that you're doing it for yourself. And I cannot insist much, guys. It's very, very important that you keep your case number confidential. Very, very important, because that number is important. Keep it confidential. Now, this other person who asked me about the email. Now, this email, like, oh my gosh. So he was like, he gave the email of his friend. So he's asking what he can do. Now, the only thing that he can do if he gave the email for his friend is that he can, if he's still in contact with that friend, and I hope that that person has not lost their confirmation number. Because if they have, and maybe the friend doesn't remember the email, or if they cannot contact the friend, then it's going to be hard for them to check for their results. But this is going to even be for the upcoming people. The upcoming people who are going to apply for the DV 2024, please do it for yourself and keep your confirmation number, keep your information, because you don't want people to do your stuff. You want to do it for yourself, because when you come here in the US, you will have a very hard time trying to rely on people to do for you, and they are not going to do for you. Even how we bring up our kids here is very, very different. They start when they're little. You start showing them independence. Because if you don't show them independence, then they will be kind of behind, especially even when they go to school. They will not be able even to know stuff for themselves. You know, um, as we are different, like cultures are different, and it's okay. But you find that when you come, they say when you go to Rome, you do as Romans do. So when you start that process by yourself and you do everything for yourself, then you won't have so many doubts. And then another thing, with those people who have won their DV lottery, do not ask for information from people. What you need to do, if you need something, go to travel.state.gov and read the information, because it's there. Read all that information. You just need to go to that website and type the question that you have. They have a drop box there that you can type a question, and then you get your answer. That's how you do it, guys. because you find that someone will do it for you, someone will use their email, and then they're going to lose it, you know, all that stuff. And then you will be left with nothing. And of course, for me, I wouldn't pay someone to fill out the DS-260 for me, because it's a simple thing, self-explanatory, that I can do. And what is awaiting me when I get my second notification letter is a lot. It's a lot. I have to use a lot of money, whatever. So it's very, very, very important for you to do it for yourself. Very, very, very important. Okay. So I talked about the deadline to submit the DS-260. And Nikada, what I can tell you is that if you had your family, it's good to start looking for your it's good to start looking for their passports, so that they're ready. Now, so let me see if I have another question. I'm almost done. We are almost done here. We are almost done. Okay, so this is my last question. Hi, Charity. If you're married but cannot travel with your spouse, will this affect your visa issuance? In the DS-260, I will feel not going. Have you come across such a case? A mother traveling with kids only by status is married. Yes, I have. And you find that nobody is going to force anybody to come to the US if they don't want to. It's not, nobody is going to force you. If you don't want to, you don't want to, and that's it. But you find that you filled out married. So, and those kids, they belong to you and that man. So what you need to do is just make sure that he gives you something, a letter or something, to give you permission to go with the kids. Because if you go there and you're married and you show up with only the kids, they will ask you whether where the other parent is, because you had filled out married. So if there's some people who are even kind enough, they take you even to the interview, and they go, they explain they don't want to go, whatever, but they're free, like you're free, you're released, you're free. So it all depends. It all depends with the kind of marriage that you have. I know there are some people who are so much scared of coming here. There are some people who don't want to change their life. It's okay. It's okay if you don't want to change your life, but at the same time, the rules have to be followed, and they are very strict. They follow the rules. So you find that if there's no way that you're going to carry those kids if the other parent has not agreed. And if let's assume like one parent really doesn't want to go, and they want to stop you from going, and they decide to go and say that whatever, anything in the embassy, you find that that can be a cause for you to be denied. So it's very, very important for you to have those conversations, especially for those people who won. It's very, very, very important for you to have those conversations with them. So I've talked about many things. If you have any other question, you can put it on the comment section, and I am going to talk about it later. Let me see who is this. Let me see who is this. This is Simon. I don't know if he's, I can't see him. I don't know if his network is good. Simon, I'm trying to bring you on. Can you go to a place where there is network? I'm trying to bring you on before I close the show. I am trying to bring you on, but it's still it's giving me just that round and round and round and round and round. So maybe you can try again. I'm gonna give you a few minutes for you to try again. Simon, I just put you there on the screen. I'm trying to put you in, but your network it's not working very well. So so guys, it's been good. It's been a good 50 minutes. Today I'm going to end my show a little bit earlier because I have to go somewhere here in a little bit. And continue watching my videos. Watch out for the next video. We're going to talk more about the DS-260. And we're going to talk about the plans that you have. So do not feel free to reach out to me, and then we can have those conversations. So if I'm invited, can I bring my daughter? Now, normally, if you're invited, Zipporah, what's going to happen is that they can send you 2 invitations. And at the same time, when you're invited, when you're filling out your DS 160, you can fill out your child there if you don't have anybody to leave them with. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you can tell them, I cannot leave my child for 3 months, because there's always, when I filled out my mom's DS 260, it had all those questions about her, because I did it for her. I did everything for her here in the US. So, so when I filled it out for her, you find that there is a question that asks you whether you're traveling alone or whether you're not traveling alone. You can write there. You can write there that you're traveling alone. And remember, when if you wanna when you're going to book the appointment, you'll book your appointment, and you'll pay 2 separate fees for the visa. You will pay for yourself, and you will pay for your daughter. And you find that whether you are given or not, that money that you pay, whether you're given the visa or not, it is non-refundable. So you can fill out. They normally ask you there on the DS 160 if you're traveling with someone, but that person has to be on the invitation letter, because at the invitation letter, now, like for example, I sent out the one I sent out to my mother, and I also sent out to another friend of mine. I had written their name there. So you find that that invitation, because you will go with it, it has to have your name and your daughter's name. That way, to show that both of them are invited. And then from there, you pray hard, and then you go to the embassy and prove beyond reasonable doubt that you will come back. Because, like I normally tell you guys, is that the consular, when you apply to come as a visitor, when you apply to come for anything, a non-immigrant visa, them, they think, even before they meet you, they think, they are thinking in their mind, they know that when you're given the visa, you are not going to go back home. That is their stand. Like it's like, like the way you see a person and you make a judgment of them. No, they have you have already been judged that when you get that visa, you're not going to go back. So that's how, when you're going to the embassy for any other visa apart from an immigrant visa, when you go to the embassy, you should know that that person has already judged you, that you're not going to go back home when you get that visa. So what is your plan? Your plan is to remove that notion and to prove otherwise, that when you get the visa, you will indeed go back home. If you're able to convince him, you will get the visa. And it all comes from how you present yourself. It all becomes on presentation, how it all comes on, because when you go for an interview, they start watching you. By the time you're going through the door, they're watching your body language. They're looking at so many things. So by the time you go to them and they ask you a question, they know, like, depending on how you're going to answer. What I talk about is something called, especially eye contact. I know Africans, we are not taught like that. That is not our way of life, especially the people who are senior to us. We don't talk to them when you're looking them direct in the eye. Now, here in the US, you have to do it. And even when you come here, you find that when you're talking to an American and you're looking away, you will find them searching for your face. They always search for your face. They're looking so that to catch your attention, to search for your face. So if you're talking and you're bending, or maybe you're fiddling on something, you find that you're not so confident. You have to have that confidence. So you can be invited. Anybody can be invited. The only thing is to prove there that you will be able to come back after you have been invited. That's the only hurdle. But when you prove that, then you're good to go. You get your whatever. You get your, so you can talk about jobs. You have a job. So you'll go for the graduation, and then you have to go back to work. If it's if you're coming for the summer, like right now, the graduations are going on right now because the schools are almost closing. There are so many invitations that have gone out right now. If someone is sending you an invitation, it's going to be too late. But let's assume you're getting an invitation in December. Someone is graduating in December. The schools are closed. It's holiday. So maybe and you want to come with your child. If you want to come with your child, of course they have closed school. So you will say that the school is here and she has to go back to school. I have my job. I have to go back to my job. All those things. I have a family. I have to go back to my family. Hmm? If let's assume you're married, I have to go back to my husband. Hmm? I have a farm. This is what I do in my farm. I have to go back to work on my farm. Those are the things that you talk about. Hmm? But you cannot just go there and tell them I'm going for a graduation, and then you had not thought of maybe they would ask you after the graduation. No, they will ask you questions because they want to make sure that when they give you the visa, then you're able to come back. And at the same time, when you're given the visa, it's always good to keep it good. Don't violate it. Most people like to violate it. If you violate it and then by chance you win a DV lottery, you find that that will be a problem. It's going to be a problem. So then when you come on this side, then you will know. That's a story for another day. You will know. Hmm? Even a student, leave alone even a visitor, even a student, they in their mind, they know that that person, when they go to the US, they won't go back. That's how US is. So it's very, very important for you like to know these things so that you can know how to present yourself. But for if you win your DV lottery, unless you have lied, unless you have left your spouse, unless you have left your kids, those are, maybe you have committed a crime. Those are the things that will make them deny you. But if you are truthful and everything, that one doesn't have hurdles, and that's why I say like that's the only one that doesn't have hurdles. So so all I can do is just to wish you guys all the best. I can only wish you all the best. I'm gonna talk about other things, and then we can try, because it's all about trying. It's all about trying to see where we succeed. So guys, it's been a good 56 minutes. So I'm going to end this live show, and thank you for watching my videos. Continue watching them, continue liking them. Until next time, thank you and God bless you.